Welcome back to the channel. RacerX here, and super windy day here in North Texas. So I'm going to go tuck out of the wind here shortly. Today I want to put a little video together about an article that has recently come down from our buddies over at carbuzz.com. All this Dodge news is kind of circulating around where we have a little bit more insight on what their new engine is going to look like, and a lot of people are up in arms about it. How does it compare to what Ford has already done? Are they following Ford? It could be. And today I'm going to tell you all about it. If you're new to my channel, please do me a gigantic favor. Only 22% of you guys are subscribed to my channel. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, because I have tons of great stuff coming for you guys down the pipe from a bunch of different automakers. It should be a lot of fun. So here we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Now, safely tucked out of the wind, I can go ahead and tell you about this article that was released, once again, from carbuzz.com. They're actually suggesting that this report was from another source called StelPower, which I don't know a ton about, but apparently it's pretty legit. And basically what they're saying here is that, and we already kind of knew this was coming, right? That the V8's, they're going away sooner than later. So they're talking about their new offering, kind of what that is going to be. And as we know, the Hellcats, the 6.4s, the 5.7s, those are all staples of really the Charger, Challenger lineup, not to mention some of the other stuff that Mopar offers in like the trucks and things like that. And basically what they're stating here is that, yes, the V8 is doomed, and it is now going to be replaced with an inline 6. So I know that is not exciting news for the vast majority of you guys out there. We do see, and keep in mind, it's going to be turbocharged. So we can expect to see some good power output from this. The big burbly V8 sound that we are accustomed to with our Mopars. As we know, that thing is going to be a thing of the past. So really, in my mind, this engine is actually going to be sort of a bridge between the EVs that we know are coming down in 2024. We already know that electric muscle concept is out there, or it's getting ready to be shown and out there. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Dodge brings us with that. But this new engine, 3-liter straight inline 6 with a turbo, it is called the GME T6. And so what does the GME T6 stand for? Now, it sounds sort of like a Terminator or something, but it stands for Global Medium Engine Turbocharged 6. So it is what it is at this point. Now, they did mention in the article that they may actually come down with a hybrid version of this as well. I kind of expect this thing may be a little bit watered down from the factory, as a lot of these inline 6 versions kind of tend to be. But it's just interesting to see that they're, with all the pressures coming down from the EPA and all that kind of stuff, I really do feel like this is that bridge between, you know, an ICE engine, internal combustion, and of course the new EVs. And they just have to, they've got stricter emissions that they have to meet. So this is what they're doing, smaller displacement. Now, as we know, the inline Turbo 6 has been very successful in many other platforms. Porsche does it well. I mean, there's a ton of them that do it well. But Ford, actually, I think, is the one that sort of kind of came out. And when the Raptor's a perfect example. When they had the Raptor, they had the big burly V8s and the Raptors. They sounded great. They just an awesome truck. And then, of course, they switched over to the EcoBoost. Obviously, there you're talking about a 6-cylinder turbo. So the thing did not sound like it used to. However, on paper, it actually was a better truck. It put out more torque, actually more power. It was more fuel efficient. A lot of great things that came with that engine. Just a lot of people just felt like it didn't quite have the same driving characteristics that they had in the old V8 version of that. And so some people just really don't like the inline 6. I mean, now one other thing that I found a little bit interesting about this particular vehicle, it does mention what vehicles they feel like this is going to go in. They of course mention the Charger and Challenger. As we know, Dodge doesn't really make much. And they do also mention the Chrysler 300 and any other crossovers related to these. That's exactly what it says here. But it's interesting to me because the Chrysler 300, you don't even see any of the 2022s on Chrysler's website now. So you definitely have to take that into consideration. I was kind of under the impression that the 300 was basically dead at this juncture. So, that is another little interesting piece of this article. So the key point of this article, at least to me, is the fact that it states this is likely to be the last internal combustion engine that we see from Mopar, i.e. Stellantis, all that kind of stuff. So your very last coup de grace type engine, at least what they're saying here, is this inline six that they're coming out with. So I don't know if that's kind of going out with a Peter or a bang, and some people would say, but I don't really feel that way about it. I kind of thought maybe they may have some sort of a Hail Mary type offering at some point, or at least I hope, maybe some sort of a elephant type thing out there, something that's impossible to get where dealers could mark it up by $400,000. And I just don't know if that's really going to be a thing at all. So they do go on to talk about horsepower just a little bit. They feel like it's going to come in somewhere between what the Pentastar V6 makes and the smaller, the 5.7 liter V8 that makes 375 horsepower. So they're thinking anywhere between 303 and 375 horsepower. Of course, those turbo engines, they tend to put out quite a bit of torque. That's just the nature of the beast when you talk about turbos. So it should be a very capable engine. It's just not going to sound like what we're accustomed to from our Mopars. So we're going to have to, once again, adjust. So what are my final thoughts on really what I see here? Well, several things. One, I sort of saw things going in this direction. I really did. I felt like Dodge needed to do something to kind of bridge that gap. And this is going to be it. I mean, they just couldn't continue to put the high horsepower, high output V8s out there with all the pressure they're receiving with the new administration and just the way things are trending. All the other car companies, we already know Ford has spent billions and billions on electric technology with new plants and just new, all sorts of new stuff. And of course, we did see that Stellantis has committed a bunch of money to that very same movement now as well, just kind of slightly behind Ford, but we do know that it is coming. We know the Hellcat's going away in 2023. So essentially you have this year, which we already see on their website, and then you got one more model year of the Hellcat. Poof, it is gone. Likely to see the same sort of thing with the Charger and Challenger in terms of just changes they're going to make with it. I do expect both those models to kind of stick around, hopefully for a little while, even into the EV movement, even though they're going to look different. So this new engine, I feel like it's going to be very capable. Will they stick hybrid technology in there as well? I feel like yes and no. I feel like they may have a trim with a hybrid version, and I feel like they will also have just the regular inline six with the turbo. So they probably have a couple of different options there, at least in my mind. They'll have a couple of offerings to kind of give us there. I feel like horsepower and torque, I mean, it's going to be there, guys. And then the great thing about an engine like an inline six with a turbo on it is the fact that when you tune them, they really do come to life because, as I mentioned, most of the time they are pretty watered down from the factory. And we see this from all sorts of like import sedans and things like that. I mean, downpipes in a tune on some of these like Audis and all sorts of stuff. Those things are rockets. So it does open up some new possibilities to think about. You're just, like I said, you're not going to get that normal, that rumbly V8 sound that we all know and love anymore. And, it's gonna take some time, but eventually that's just gonna be a thing of the past. That's the way it is. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. It's hard to be super optimistic when you see something like this, but at the same time, we have to embrace change. It is what it is. But looking forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.